So it has been like it's a season actually of expose. You know, someone said that this year, there's a man of God who prophesied and said that this year there's going to be a lot of exposes. And I'm telling you on this video, it's going to really shock you. So there are actually 3 clips that I want to share just to let you know on what is really happening outside here. So the first clip is going to be this one for Robert Morris, so his expose and everything, and where the ladies accusing or the allegation that he raped her when she was a little child that is 12 years old. And actually the lady is saying that the pastor did that for 4 years. And there's something that I want you to pay close attention to, where she has decided to come out with this story right now, where she's like 50 years right now approximately and plus. The main reason why she's doing that right now is that more survivors can come out too. Did you hear that? She's saying that there are more survivors, like there are others who went through the same thing that she actually went through. And then the second part is where I'll be showing you something that is very shocking, of where now Todd comes to be part of now this where Todd is actually in connection with Pastor Robert Morris. And then finally I'll just share with you a clip of where Prophetess Celestial was actually speaking about these things, and she was saying that these things are about to happen. And then I'll let you be the judge of whether the prophecies that she spoke about, are they getting fulfilled or not. Because I've been seeing some of you have been really going hard on me and attacking me and everything. No problem. So I'll just share it with you and I'll let you to be the judge. So if you have not yet subscribed, first of all, I'll urge that you go and hit that subscribe button. Once you subscribe to the platform and we grow this platform to even greater and make it even much huge, I'll be able to get some of these people physically, and we'll be able even to have an interaction with them one-on-one and ask them these questions plain blank. So I want us to grow this platform together. So make sure you hit that subscribe, like this video. If you're in a position to share, please share this video. So let's get into this video.
Her as a child for 4 years, starting abuse. Good evening, I'm Blake Hansen. Robert Morris is the founder and senior pastor at Gateway Church in South Lake. A woman has come forward alleging Morris sexually abused her as a child for 4 years, starting in 1982. In response to the allegations, Morris reportedly told a Christian news outlet he engaged in inappropriate sexual behavior. Fox's Amelia Jones live with more on the accusations. Amelia.
Blake, the woman who came forward with this allegation of abuse, says that it began when she was just 12 years old. She says that she's sharing her story now to encourage other survivors to speak up. Since 2000, when Gateway Church opened its doors, it's grown into one of the largest church communities in the country.
What is the Holy Spirit saying to you?
The megachurch has 9 campuses in Texas, 1 in Wyoming, and another in Missouri. Every Sunday, a total of 100,000 worshipers attend services in the churches. Earlier this month, the church's founder, Pastor Robert Morris, was accused of sexually abusing a child in the 1980s. The now 54-year-old woman, who we're not publicly naming, says the alleged abuse began when she was 12 years old and lasted for 4.5 years.
Most survivors come forward between the ages of 50 and 70.
Melanie Sakota works with the Survivors Network of Those Abused by Priest, or SNAP. She says many survivors come forward to prevent what happened to them from happening to somebody else.
And I think the fact that Robert Morris is still in ministry is an incentive to come forward, because what happened to her when she was young needs to be known.
The woman spoke with an online Christian publication, The Christian Post, and confirmed to Fox 4 the information she provided is correct. The woman says the abuse started when Morris was preaching at a local church in Oklahoma and was a guest at her home along with his wife and young child. By the time she was 17 and told her parents what was happening, Morris was the pastor at Shady Grove Church, which is now the Gateway Church campus in Grand Prairie. Sakota says the abuse should have been reported to law enforcement, and it's unclear if it ever was.
First report to law enforcement, because the best investigations of these types of crimes are done by secular authorities, not by the church itself.
According to the Christian Post article, the Gateway Church says after these allegations were brought to light 35 years ago, Pastor Morris stepped away from ministry for 2 years to receive counseling. The article has a statement from Pastor Morris that says in part, quote, "When I was in my early 20s, I was involved in inappropriate sexual behavior."
Yeah, so this is Robert Morris here is actually agreeing to the whole thing. See right here. So he actually agreed. It's a whole sermon where he did, and he said, when I was young, in my early 20s, I was involved in an inappropriate sexual behavior with a young lady where I was staying. It was kissing and petting and not intercourse, but I was wrong. So here he's denying the intercourse, but he was just saying that it was actually kissing and petting. But now the question is, he's saying that it was in his early 20s. So how did he stop? This was in his early 20s. When then did he stop? Understand?
Where I was staying, it was kissing and petting and not intercourse, but it was wrong. According to the woman's account from the same article, it was more than kissing and petting.
He called her a young lady.
Yeah, so you've just had that. So the lady said, actually the lady said it was more than kissing and petting.
Than kissing and petting.
He called her a young lady. He didn't acknowledge that she was 12. He said it was, as I recall, a moral feeling. This isn't a moral feeling.
The woman declined to do an interview with Fox 4, but her attorney sent a statement on her behalf. It says in part, quote, "For decades, churches have ignored her disclosures while embracing, promoting, and endorsing this reported sexual offender as a man of God." The statement goes on to say she hopes this encourages other survivors to speak up.
Don't suffer alone and in silence. There are people that will believe you and support you. You just need to find the right people.
Oh, and actually this reminds me of even, you remember the R. Kelly case. It just took one person. When one person came out, and then we saw that now everyone now got the courage to actually come and share the story. Same thing just happened to Didi. You saw Didi when Casey filed the lawsuit, and she said that Didi was doing this, Didi was doing that. Now we've seen that other survivors, people are actually opening up and coming to the light, and they are saying that, hey, this is what happened to me, this is what happened to me. So very soon time is going to tell how many more are out there. So if you're out there and you face such kind of thing from this man of God, this pastor, so just it's your time, then this is the time for you to come out. So there's this statement here where the victim's attorney is saying that for decades church have ignored her disclosures while embracing, promoting, and endorsing this reported sexual offender as a man of God. And this is something that I've really seen, especially even with the members. You know, when you just come out and you're saying your story and you're telling guys, yo, this happened to me, the members are so much sold to these so-called men of God that I don't know. It's like I don't know. You just want even to carry their crosses, guys. That's just crazy. That's crazy. So let me just show you this clip here. This clip, probably it's like a month old. This was an expose of Mike Todd. This was an expose of Mike Todd. So I just want to show you how Mike Todd actually connects with Pastor Robert Morris. So just have a look at this.
A theologian, but when you're literally stealing phrase by phrase and acting like it's yours, that's a big problem. But I think this stems, matter of fact, I know it does, it stems from Mike Todd not wanting to actually study the Bible. So let's get into our first clip.
Let me give you one more illustration. Jason, Steve, and Todd, will you guys stand up?
Hey, Charles, Will, Scott, come here real quick. Last analogy, we going home.
I'm going to give you an illustration. Let's say that I say to these three men, I'm going to go away for a while. And I've provided for Debbie, but I want to provide some additional funds for her. But I want to channel or funnel those funds through you three men. So I'm going to send each of you $10,000 a month, okay? Jason, don't get that excited. This is just an illustration. Okay.
Let's say I'm going on a trip and I'm gonna be gone for an extended period of time. Y'all come right here. I'm gonna be gone for an extended period of time, and I wanna provide for Natalie, my wife, and I'm taking care of her, but I wanna provide some extra finances just in case she gets in a spot. And I'm gonna give each one of y'all $10,000 every, hold on, it's just an example, okay? Just an example. Scott, calm down.
So, I'm talking to Debbie Everett, and I say it to you, but I want you to give Debbie 10% of it, $1,000 a month, and you can keep the 90%. Just give my wife 10%. So I'm talking to Debbie every day and letting her know, you know, it's an extended trip, but I'll be back in several months. I have to be gone. And after about 3 months, I think about these other funds, and I say, hey, how are the funds coming in from the 3 guys, you know? And she said, well, Jason sends $1,000 a month. Just like you said, matter of fact, it arrives like January 1st, February 1st. I mean, he's like clockwork. It's $1,000, so good job, okay?
I'm gonna provide $10,000 extra for her through all of you, and all I want you to do is give her $1,000 each time I send you the $10,000. The other 9, you can keep. You can do whatever you wanna do with it, but I just wanna give you that money, okay? And what if I talk to my wife every night? What's up, baby, how you doing? Oh, I miss you. Caking. Y'all remember caking? Okay, cool. So I'm talking to her and I'm like, hey, you remember those finances that I was gonna have Charles and Will and Scott give to you? How's it been going? And she's like, yeah, so Charles sends $1,000 every 1st and 15th, like clockwork. It's like $1,000, like it just keeps coming. I'm like, okay, that bet.
I said, well, what about Steve? She said, well, Steve is sending $2,000 a month. I said, $2,000 a month? I didn't ask him for $2,000 a month. I just asked him for $1,000 a month. I know. I said, well, why is he sending $2,000? I don't know. He just sends $2,000 a month.
I said, what about Will? Will, for some reason, sends $2,000. I was like, what? I was like, I just told him to send $1,000. I know, but every 1st and 15th, he sends $2,000. And it's just been consistent all over.
I said, well,
Wow. I mean, literally phrase by phrase, example by example, even joke by joke, you can see Mike Todd is very influenced by Robert Morris. And just in case you think this might be something I'm conjuring up, he definitely knows Robert Morris. Robert Morris actually preached many tithing sermons in Mike Todd's own church, including this one entitled What Test 3 years ago. Mike Todd, in my estimation, has got much of his theology of tithing from Robert Morris.
Wow. So you just saw that. You just saw how it just went down right there, and the whole and just everything, where now Mike Todd is actually copy and pasting everything right there from Pastor Morris. So there's a clip that I want to play for you by now Celestial, where now she was actually speaking about the church and everything that is happening. You know, just a disclaimer, you know, the other day when I was when I've been sharing these videos and I've been sharing these exposés, and everyone is coming out and saying, oh, then who is the real one? Who is then the real person?
You also say
if everyone then is fake and everything, then who is the real person? And I told you that's quite an amazing question. And I told you it's very simple. You'll just know them by their fruits, because that is what the Bible says. Bible says that by their fruits you will get to know them. That is how you get to know the real person. But now, if we check on some of these people, look at the fruits that they are bearing. I don't know why. I'm not really sure why it's very hard. I'm not sure why it's very hard for actually people to just admit and just accept it just the way it is. Just look at the fruits that these people are sharing. Look at the fruits that they are being productive in. Look at, for example, like imagine if actually that 12-year-old, what if that was actually your daughter? What if that was your baby sister? What if, sometimes if it's someone that you're not like very closely related to, you might not feel it. But what if that came home to you? What if that was actually, just imagine, what if that was you? Like someone was abusing you, a man of God that every day you actually see on the screen. He's right there, he's preaching, he's right there, he's talking about grace, he's talking about love every day, and then you're imagining for 4 years that person was actually abusing you when you are a child. Just think about it. Just think about it, living this life with that kind of trauma. Yo, so that's just crazy, yo. That's just crazy. So the Bible is very clear. Bible says that you will know them by their fruits. By their fruits, guys. By their fruits. That's how you'll know them. That's how you'll know the true ones and the fake ones. So let's just play. Let me just play for you this briefly before we wrap this up. Let me just play for you. He
also
briefly.
Saying false teaching and false prophecy turns people into bait for sale in spiritual transactions. And this you need to know. Lives are left exposed to whoever wants to abuse or take your life. So I spoke in the beginning of how when the time of the devil approaches, these pastors will be less interested with hiding who they are. They will begin to move in bigger, more and more signs and wonders. And one of the things that they will do, I said, because the covenant in most of these transactions in the spiritual realm is blood. They're not going to pay with the blood of their children. They're not going to pay with the blood of their wives. They're going to pay with yours out there, whoever you may be that is still following after such ministries. Those who buy them, slay them, kill them, and go unpunished. And each of those who sells them says, "Blessed is the Lord, for I have become rich." And their own shepherds have no pity on them. Zechariah 11 verses 4-5. So God is basically saying you're going to become like Bitcoin in spiritual transactions. When they go to the dark side and they say, I want a 40,000 seater church, or I need a 3,000 strong ministry, and the spirits and the mermaids and the whoever, the warlocks, the high level spiritual wickedness sitting in the high places, some of it not even human, are saying, well, this is no problem to deliver to you, but what do you give us? Then they will say, what is the price? And they'll be told, oh, the initial payment is blood covenant from you and 40 souls. Now, how to cover up the death of those 40 souls? Well,
what I just wanted you to get was actually the first part where she was talking about these ministers actually abusing people. At the end of the day, they just go unpunished. Just doing all these terrible things, and then at the end of the day, they end up, or they actually just go unpunished. You understand? Like that is something that we have seen on the rise currently. It's actually something that we've seen quite on the rise currently. Like even the other day when we saw that there's so many of these exposés that have been coming up, but why are we not seeing action like from these men of God? Just to step down and to probably get restoration, apart from what we saw happen the other day by Pastor Tony Evans. But it's a sin that happened years ago, so he didn't step down immediately. It's been years ago. We don't know what that sin is. We don't know why that sin is actually an issue currently. We don't know, but it took him quite some time, because he says that it's a sin that happened quite a long time ago. So we don't know actually the impact of that sin currently. But now I'm saying, if it's a current situation, like for example this situation here that we're seeing, why are we not seeing them being actually responsible for these mistakes? Like for example, even Bishop T.D. Jakes, we didn't see him like coming out and stepping down and all that. We didn't see all that. We didn't see that. Why are they so much interested in the titles? Why are they so much interested in those titles? Like for example, titles of bishops, and just holding on to those power levels. Why? And yet the Bible is very clear that for such positions you're supposed to be without blemish. But why are they so much interested in those positions? Why are they so much? That is the question that you need to ask yourself. And I always tell you, there's a lot of these manipulations that have actually been going. I'm not saying that all ministries are actually are crazy or with these kind of things. That is not what I'm saying. But it's high time we just call it the way it is. It's high time we call it the way it is. I'm telling you, there are people who have decided even to leave the gospel just because of these things. There are people who have been victims of these things. There are people who have heard these stories and they have decided even just to leave the gospel. Like I remember that time when they did that expose, that TB Joshua expose. Go and check the comment section right there on YouTube. You'll see people confessing, people saying that is why I left church. People saying that is why the reason I don't want to go to church. So as much as you're thinking that this thing is working against the church, it is not really working against the church. We are actually trying to bring more to come to God by us just calling out those who are doing the wrong things. We are calling them out. So by calling them out, actually what we are doing is that now we're just letting them know that, hey, it's not everywhere it's this dirty. There are other places where it's okay. But now if we just leave it for people just to go on and find this by themselves, we let BBC handle this, we let now Fox 4 handle this kind of news, then definitely we'll be losing so many people from the churches, you know. So I'd like to hear what do you think about this right there in the comment section. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't. So I'll let this video slide on this point, but don't forget, we're just going to be keeping exposing and calling it the way it is. So let me know what you think about this in the comment section. Stay blessed. See you in the next video.